We want to call this meeting to order. Today is June 4th, 2019, and this is the County Commission meeting for Weber County. I'm Commissioner Scott Jenkins, chair of this illustrious group. To my right is Commissioner Jim Harvey, and my left is Commissioner Gage Frohr. We welcome all of you here today. I'm recovering from a cold, so if I cough and hack a little today, I apologize. I'm trying to do the best I can not to spread. Our invocation today will be given by Bill Ross, after which Christy Bingham will give our Pledge of Allegiance, and Commissioner Gage Frohr will give our thought of the day. Mr. Ross.
Our dear Heavenly Father, as we come before this commission meeting, we are very grateful for all the many blessings Thou hast bestowed upon us, and we're grateful for this wonderful country and state we live in, and especially grateful for the opportunity we have to live in Weber County and to serve in the positions we have here. And we are thankful for our armed forces and all those who serve us publicly, our law enforcement officers and our firefighters and all our first responders. And we ask a special blessing to be upon them, that might protect them as they serve each of us in the community. We are grateful for our commissioners and for all they do for us here in the county, and pray Thou continue to bless them and sustain them and the things that they need to serve us well, that we can continue to strive and prosper here in Weber County with our families. We're grateful to meet here this day, and pray Thy blessings to be upon this meeting, that the things discussed will accomplish much in the benefit of those that live here. And we ask for these things in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
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 Thank you, Bill.
Everyone, please rise. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Frohr.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I actually had a couple of thoughts. I know that might surprise you. So what's going on right now, and I'm sure everybody's aware, it's the major sports event of the year, of any year, which is the Stanley Cup playoffs. And I know you'd agree with me. So. Yeah, and so last night actually was Game 4, which I'm sure, and you know who the St. Louis Blues had to win last night to tie it up to even the series, which they ended up doing. But so I ended up getting out of a meeting fairly good time, because the one thing I look forward to is watching that game, especially a critical game like last night. And so I get home, and for some reason they're doing construction on my road, and had the road dug up, and Utah Power and Light was there. And I get to my house and push my button to open the garage door, and no juice. And so went in, obviously no TV. And to make a long story short, it gave me an opportunity to go out and spend 2 hours mowing my grass. So I just wanted to give thanks to the people that will actually start their work at 6 o'clock at night, like Utah Power and Light, and time it so that people like me can do more productive things than watch the Stanley Cup. So it's
The Game 4.
the Game 4. So and just so you're aware, the Blues did win. They've tied it up, and down to the last 2 games. So anyway, I wanted to give thanks to those hard workers that not only get out and make sure our utilities are in order and that we have power to our home, but they do get it on. And I actually watched the last 8 minutes, so it wasn't too bad.
Good. Thank you. As a point, we had our WACOG meeting last night at the fairgrounds. It kind of kicked off the start of the fair, and it was a wonderful event. It was absolutely wonderful. They treated us like kings out there and queens, and it was fun to see the 4-H group and the FFA. And I was really happy when I got home last night. I couldn't begin to tell my wife about all that had happened. I ate some goat last night. That goat. You know, I tell you, you go through and eat all those. You eat sheep and goat and hogs and different things, and when it's all said and done, they give you a piece of that beef. You eat that, and then you say to yourself, I understand why beef's always been the king of the meats. There's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason.
It was good.
It was. The only thing they didn't have was buffalo.
Yeah, that would have been the king.
That would have topped it off.
We'll bring some next year. How's that?
Okay.
But there's probably a reason they don't raise bison in 4-H.
Yeah, that's true.
We talked about that last night. Yeah, not necessarily very healthy in some cases to the individual.
Yeah. They're tough to raise.
Yeah, unfortunately, you heard about the guy in Great Salt Lake that got trampled the other day.
No kidding.
Yeah, so
Got too close to one, huh?
yeah, he got too close or vice versa. But yeah, but I guess he's gonna be okay.
Well,
Wow.
that's a tough. They're a great animal, but they're
They're tough.
I'll second that.
All right, public comment today. Are those here who've come to address this commission? Feel free to step forward. We'd love to hear from you. Don't see any today, so we'll move on with our consent items. First items on our consent are the warrants, number 1820 through 1822. And number 439,869 through 439,972 in the amount of $1,622,715. And a request for purchase orders in the amount of $25,913. Request for approval of the minutes, May 28th of this year. Request for Weber County Fleet Department to approve a surplus of a 1977 forklift. Request of approval to ratify a contract between Weber County and NOINK for election services. Is there any questions on the consent items for today? None? I had none either.
I have no questions.
I'm ready for a...
Do you want to let him review any of them?
Oh, yeah. Lynn, go ahead. Thanks. I always forget to do that.
Thank you, Commissioner. So we had, as you know, you've reviewed all of these thoroughly, but just so the public is aware, some of the larger purchases, we had 3 POs for $26,000, 71% or $19,000 of that was for the library for Microsoft Office and VDA licenses. We had 107 checks totaling $1.6 million. Largest of these, 47% or $769,000 was an employee health insurance payment. 32% or $526,000 was a 1% transportation tax reimbursement to Ogden City for 17th Street construction. That was $377,000 of that, and to West Haven for 33rd South construction at $149,000. And 7% or $118,000 was corridor preservation, mostly to Pleasant View for right-of-way acquisitions on Skyline Drive, and about $13,000 for 33rd South, and everything else was 5% or less.
Thank you. I see we have a new format that you sent those warrants to us in. And I think this had to do with my rant last week. I apologize for that. I didn't mean to set off too many wheels or things happening here, but anyway, I appreciate it and what you guys do.
We're always happy to improve any process that we
You
can.
bet.
It's helpful. The new format's great.
Yeah, so thank you, sir. Very good. Motion, was you going to make one?
I'd be happy to make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? I see none. Very good. That stands as approved. Action items. First item on the list today is a approval of a first reading for a fee ordinance amendment related to Weber County Community Development Department Solid Waste Division. Mr. Bill Ross, you're going to take care of Sean's.
Yep, I'd like to excuse Sean. He's out of town right now.
Okay, go ahead.
This is just the first reading of the fee ordinance. Maybe just to point out before I read it, there is one section here that that we have taken out, and it's the portion in regards to the freon removal fee reduction. We're inquiring some more information in regards to that before we'll present that. So in the second reading, that'll be omitted from the reading. So we're just trying to work out some details with one of the vendors on that to make sure that we can accommodate that reduction in fee of the, basically it's the extraction of the freon from refrigerators. So
Basically, we're raising fees out there 1.9%.
yep.
That's what it amounts to.
Yeah. So the Weber County Solid Waste Division is requesting the fee ordinance amendment for the purpose of raising the general waste tipping fee at the Weber County Transfer Station. The general waste tipping fee increases is in response to the annual consumer price index increase of 1.9 required of the county's contract with Republic Services, which is approximately 51 cents per ton. And then also the operating cost increases at the transfer station, including fuel, utilities, salary and benefits, etc., approximately 49 cents per ton. And as you know, that's mostly just carried over from the trucking company for the transportation of getting rid of our garbage. The current waste tipping fee of the transfer station is now $39.49 per ton, and the cost of the CPI and operational increases at $1 per ton, which increases the tipping fee to $40.49 per ton. This increase was presented to the Solid Waste Subcommittee and also the WACOG earlier this year. So the recommendation is that you approve the fee ordinance amendments raising the general waste tipping fee Weber County Transfer Station from $39.49 to $40.49 per ton.
Very good, sir. Comments?
I just want to reiterate that the main reason for this is the cost of transportation, not being caused by Weber County, but by the people who actually transport the garbage to or from the facility. And so that's where we're seeing the fee. I want to compliment what's been happening out at the transfer station. 2.5 years ago, the transfer station was losing $300,000 a year. And they are now paying back that debt. So not only have they eliminated the cost of $300,000 a year, but they're making a little money to pay back the debt that they incurred for years and years. And so that's has a lot to do with your management, the management of John Watson and his crew out there. We really appreciate them. Thank you.
Absolutely.
John, would you care to say anything about this? You're sitting in the audience. If you don't want to, that's okay.
Everything's running really well out there. We've increased or seeing.
John, come up to the microphone. State your name.
I think with the John Watson, and I don't drive a Chevy. But we're seeing more waste coming in. We've increased by quite a bit. Last year at this time, we were taking out. We haul all the garbage out in double container semis. We were hauling out last year about this time about 18 to 19 a day, and we are up to about 25, 26 this year. So I think it's a lot of the growth that we're seeing going on, and so yeah, things are growing and it's being handled well, and employee staff is all doing well, so we're in good shape.
Right. Discussions?
Just one more comment, if I may. The reason we do this is because it's less expensive for the haulers to pick up the garbage at the curbside and haul them to a transfer station where it's then transferred to the landfill area, instead of all of the curbside going all the way down to the transfer station themselves. Much more expensive to do it that way. So that's the reason it does. Is that correct?
Right. The landfills are going to become something that's going to become harder and harder to find over the years. So right now, the closest one really for us that we can utilize is in Tooele. So that's
terrific. Thank you.
what we have to do.
Thank you, gentlemen. John, appreciate it. Okay, I'm ready for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve the first reading of the fee ordinance amendments relating to the Weber County Community Development Department Solid Waste Division as presented in action item G1 today.
Second?
Very good. I have motion second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It passes. Thanks, gentlemen. Next up is a request for approval of a final reading of fee ordinance related to the Weber County Clerk Auditor Office. Lynn Taylor.
Thank you, Commissioner. We had a minor clarification since the last reading. The passport acceptance fee had been $35, but that's actually directed by the Department of State, and we don't have any latitude on that. So we just changed the language from 35 to as directed by the Department of State. It's the same amount, but anytime the Department of State changes it, that won't result in us having to change our ordinance to adjust for that. Everything else is the exact same as read last week.
Okay, I have no problem with that. Commissioners?
None.
Questions for either of you? Okay, I'm looking for a motion then.
So move?
Second.
I have a motion and a second to approve it as Lynn's explained it. All in favor, say aye.
Aye. Starts a
Excuse
roll.
me.
That's a,
Thank you, Fatima.
Ordinance 9,
ordinance number 9.
Commissioner Harvey,
Aye.
Commissioner Farrar,
Aye.
and Chair Jenkins.
Aye. Thanks, Fatima. Appreciate you keeping us on the straight and narrow here. Very good. Next item up is approval of a resolution between the county and the Weber County Commissioners of Weber County appointing members to the Veterans Advisory Committee. Christy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
The Veterans Advisory Committee has a board vacancy due to one of their members resigning. And so we've received an application from a Daniel Check. I hope I'm saying that right.
You are.
He's very interested in serving. And he would fill the spot that Jerry Inglesby left. He is now serving an LDS mission. So, and also Sherry Morale would like to be reappointed. Her term has ended, has expired, and she is willing to serve another term.
I feel bad about Jared leaving, but that's life. We all move on to other things in our lives, and that's the way it is. So I'm okay at Daniel.
Have no questions.
Hey, I'm ready for a motion.
I'll make a motion, if that's right. All right,
Yeah,
Mr.
that's
Chair.
great.
I'll make a motion that we approve Daniel Check to sit on and reappoint Sherry Morelli to sit on the Veterans Advisory Committee.
Second.
Very good. I have motion and second. All in favor, say aye. Oh, hold on. This is a resolution.
Resolution 31, Commissioner Harvey,
Aye.
Commissioner Farrar,
Aye.
and Chair Jenkins.
Aye. Very good. Thanks, Fatima.
Thank you.
Thanks, Christy. Next item up is a request for approval of a contract by and between Weber County and Stern Dirt Racing for demolition derby at the county fair. Ashton Wilson.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, this request is for the demolition derby at this year's fair. I mentioned last week that we have a new producer of the derby. He puts on some of the best derbies in the state. He does an awesome job. So $40,000 of that is for purse money, and then $21,000 is for production fees.
Did you hear that, purse money?
Big purse.
That's a big purse. Boy, this year's demolition derby will be really exciting. When do those tickets go on sale?
June 10th, next Monday.
Very good.
Wow, that is good.
Okay.
You need a motion, Mr. Chairman?
Ready for a motion.
I'd move to approve.
Very good. Motion to approve and a second. All in favor, say aye.
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 All right, Ashton, that's done. You're next up. Approval of contract in Weber County and the Horse Nation Indian Relay Council for the production of Indian relay races to the 2019 fair. Ashton?
Yes, sir. So $37,500 would be the total, and $25,000 of that is purse money. $12,500 is for production costs. They're going to bring up upwards of 200 horses with them, so we're going to provide stalls for them, room for their production crew, and then this is for 2 days of races, not just one. So it's upwards of 8 hours of entertainment.
Very good. This is, I know a couple of us, well, all three of us have a little comments there, but this is really, really exciting. To me, it's exceptionally exciting. The fact that, and why did they, question, Why do they call them the Indian relay races? How was that name chosen?
That is something that they call themselves. So the actual committee and organization is the Horse Nations Indian Relay Council. But are you wanting me to explain the races?
I wanted it to come. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. And so this is really exciting. For those people, this is a new event to our fair. It never happened before, at least in the 24, 25 years now I've been associated with it. And to have our racetrack being utilized, to kind of explain what it is, this, as I understand, they'll bring about 200 horses.
Yes.
And then they have so many riders, and they'll put 12 or 16 horses on the track, and then they'll have several riders, and they'll mount the horses, take off, and go around. Then they get off the horse, have to run several steps, get on another horse, and go around the track again, and then do it again and again, and until the winners finally, and then they have a second race and the third. And it's really exciting.
Yeah, they have different types of races too. They have a men's, a women's, and then a children's. So it'll be really entertaining.
That's exciting.
It is. I tell you, I couldn't believe this. The first time I seen it, I was watching it, and these people just throw themselves at those horses. It's very entertaining. It's amazing.
Yeah, I would agree. I saw Indian horse races a number of years back. Gloria used to run the Southeast Idaho Rodeo on almost a yearly basis. She won it a couple of times in barrel racing. So
awesome.
I had the opportunity to watch these guys probably, 25, 30 years ago. And it was amazing then. I'm sure it's still. It's just a fun event. And I'm excited about this. I'm excited about the entire fair with this whole venue of programming that we have. So I'm excited. I think we're going to really change the dynamics of the fair this year.
I do too. I don't think in the 25 years being associated with and understanding a little bit about activities, I don't ever remember there being an Indian horse race in the state of Utah. So this will be the first of its type in the state, and that's going to be exciting.
Yeah, none that we're aware of. These guys are out of South Dakota too, so they're coming quite a way.
Wow, that's good.
That's a good purse.
Yeah, that is.
25, yes, sir.
Wow.
Yeah, so
Good. I'm excited. All right, I'm ready for a motion there.
I'd move to approve, Mr. Chair.
I'll second that.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very good. The Indian races have been approved. Next item is a request for approval of contract binding between Weber County and Robin Gruber to judge the Fiesta 4-H horse show, youth horse show.
Yes,
Ashton?
sir. So I believe we're paying Robin $100 to judge the youth horse show. I've worked with Robin. She's an hourly riding client at the Golden Spike, and she's great to work with and is heavily involved with 4-H, so we'd like to bring her on board.
Great. I got no questions.
No questions. Motion.
Motion to approve Lori Gruber to judge the Fiesta 4-H horse show.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye.
Okay.
It's been approved. Next is approval of contract.
I just saw it, a note about we need to change the agenda, but I don't see Tammy Adelon here. When she comes in, there was an action. Rick, do you know about that?
Rick can help you.
You just need to postpone a public hearing to accommodate the applicant and the public to the 11th.
Okay, when we get to that, okay.
Okay. I did not get that.
Okay, we'll go when we get to the agenda.
Very good.
Sorry, Ash.
Last item for Ashton is approval contract by and between Weber County and the Freestyle 4-H Tour production of bullfights for the 2019 County Fair. Ashton?
So this is going to replace the MMA fights that we've had at the fair. This will be the Thursday of the fair. We've never really had a bullfight event in the northern portion of Utah, so I'm hopeful that it'll be successful. They'll do 3 rounds of 3 guys each, and then the winners of those rounds will go to the short round to compete for the championship. This is for a total of $27,500, and $15,000 of that is purse money, and then the 12.5 is for the bulls. They're going to get shipped from Oklahoma, and then the production fees. So this will be another new event that'll be awesome for the fair.
Right. Questions, Commissioners?
They're also partnered with Juvenile Research for Diabetes, so they do some of that stuff on the side that we've chatted with Chris Crockett, the attorney, about, and that's all good to go. So it's for a good cause too that they do this for.
I've got some questions.
Yes,
The reason is because sometimes when people hear the word bullfights, they associate it with other bullfights they've seen in other countries and where animals are harmed. Can you tell us how these bullfights are different?
Yes, so it's pretty different. There's no harm to the animal. These are Mexican fighting bulls, so they're bred and they're just naturally mean like that. And so it's basically just playing with the bull, and you get points based on keeping contact and doing tricks with the bull. And so I've been working with the DTO group that's doing our advertising to make sure that it's clear that this is something that's different and it's not a inhumane thing at all. So it'll be really fun, and I'm hoping to get a county-wide email out with a video put together so everybody knows exactly what it is.
That'd be wonderful. Thank you. With that, Mr. Chair, I'd make a motion that we approve the freestyle 4-H tour production of the bullfights for the 2019 Weber County Fair.
Sounds fun. Are you taking entries for bulls? I may have one for you.
We can look into that.
I'll second that.
No.
No buffalo bulls. So we have a motion and a second. Yeah,
Yeah.
all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Very good. Thanks, Ashton. Hey, and that was very nice what you put on for us last night. We were impressed. Thank you. All right, consideration of an action on a request for a final approval of the Village at Wolf Creek PRUD amendment. Steve Burton.
Hi, Commissioners.
Hello, Steve.
The conditional use permit was before you, I think, a couple weeks ago to amend this PRUD, this subdivision. This is the final step to get the county commission approval for this subdivision. So just to kind of remind you what we're doing with this one, what the developer wants to do is narrow the roads a little bit to make these buildings fit, these multifamily buildings fit a little bit better. The location it's off of Wolf Creek Drive, just south of the golf course there. So staff's recommending approval. Planning Commission recommended approval. This is all based on the findings and conditions in the staff report.
Did we have anybody oppose it?
We did. Yeah, there was one planning commissioner that opposed it. And I believe her reasoning was that she felt that the roads, the narrowing of the roads was not safe.
What was the final figure that they got narrowed to?
25 feet. That's the right-of-way.
That's the right-of-way.
Yeah.
These are private roads, correct?
Correct.
You know, in as much as that was the explanation on the nay vote and not the design, I'm comfortable and feel good about where you've headed with that. So I've got no questions, Mr. Chair.
Okay.
I'm good with that. Are you ready for a motion?
I am. It's up in Eden.
This is in Eden, yeah, by Wolf Creek. Move to approve final approval of the Village at Wolf Creek PRUD amended.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. It's been approved, Steve.
Thank you.
Thank you. Duncan Olson, request for approval of contract by and between Weber County, Utah Quarter Horse Association to hold quarter horse races at the Golden Spike Event Center.
Good morning, Commissioners.
So we're back, huh?
Yeah, this is just the wrap up. This is actually a ratification of this contract. We had our last race on Saturday. Really successful. We had a purse of $76,000 on the final race. We had about 1,000 people there, over 100 horses, super successful. We really appreciated the quarter horse group. They were really good to us. We're getting close to still in Salt Lake's races. So we'll have 3 rounds of races, and the only horse racing will be in Weber County. So that's what we're going for. But yeah, this is a ratification of that contract.
Very good.
How many people did you have at that last race, Duncan?
About 1,000 people. Yeah, we had paid customers, we had right around 600. And then between the licensees and the people that were hanging around on the rail, we're about 1,000 people.
Very good.
All right, I'm ready.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I'll make a request that we approve or ratify the contract by and between Weber County and the UQHRA, the Utah Quarter Horse Racing Association, for the quarter horse races out at the Golden Spike Event Center.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Very good, Duncan, that's great. Next item is approval of contract between Weber County and the Broken Heart Rodeo Company, LLC, to supply rough stock for Buck Wild.
Yes, this one's exciting. We're getting ready for our 3rd annual Buck Wild. It's a rough stock only event. So we've got the buck and broncs and the bulls, mini bulls. We have fireworks. And this event's really geared towards giving back to our first responders and military. We go out and we give a lot of tickets away to the people that put their lives on the line for us, and we give back to them. We do some honorees and have a dinner for them, and we're really excited to bring Broken Heart back as the rough stock contractor. They do a great job, like always, and we're excited.
So this is a Weber County owned.
Yep, this is one of our events. It is the 28th and 29th of this month, Friday and Saturday night.
Very good. Yeah, this is a good program. You guys have done it, and this is one that's originated or produced. I mean, it's an in-house event, so this is good for us. And so I have no other questions unless you want me to make a motion.
Yeah.
Great. Mr. Chair, I'll make the motion that we approve the contract by and between Weber County and the Broken Heart Rodeo Association to provide rough stock for Buck Wild.
Second.
Motion and a second. I have no questions either, so all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Commissioners.
Duncan. Thank you. Next item is number 11, approved for an interlocal agreement by and between Weber County and Hooper City to participate in funding the Golden Spike Storm Water Coalition. Braden Felix.
Good morning.
Morning.
This is one of the last of the few that we have left. Hopefully next week you should be hearing from me again about Marriott Slaterville and Roy City. But otherwise, this is the agreement, interlocal agreement for Hooper to participate in hiring an executive director for the Golden Spike Stormwater Advisory Coalition.
Questions? Commissioners, we know about this. It's been going on for some time.
Yeah, this is one of the final ones, correct?
Yep, we do have a handful more, but we're almost there.
Thanks. Good job. Mr. Chair, I'd move to approve.
Motion to approve.
I thought it was going to break out into song.
Commissioners, it is a resolution.
It's a resolution.
32.
Thanks, Fatima.
Aye.
32.
Resolution 32. And I second the motion.
Thank you. Commissioner Harvey?
Aye.
Commissioner Faur?
Aye.
And Chair Jenkins.
Aye. Thanks, Fatima.
Thank you.
Thank you, Braden. Next is our... Oh, we darn, look at that.
Oh, jeez. All right.
Yeah. The lens, or my glasses broke. Look at there. Lens come out of it. Okay, request for approval of contract by between Weber County and Ogden Friends of Acoustic Music for the 12th annual OFOM Festival to be held at Fort Buenaventura. Jennifer, you don't look like Todd.
I know. I'm covering for Todd today. He is up in the valley getting ready for the 12 o'clock meeting, and so he asked me to cover. So, and this actually is also a ratification, as the OFO Music Festival was held over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And this is a contract that we kind of partner with OFOM. You know, they license to use the fort, but we do discount a few of the Boweries and such. So the contract is about $1,250 from OFOM, but then we make an additional $4,500 or so off of camping, as well as food and beer sales. We make a percentage of that. So, and it definitely brings a different crowd to the fort, and it provides the fort a great exposure. So. Just looking for.
It was a good week, huh?
Yes, it was.
Good.
Yeah, it's a great event down there. It's really a good.
Questions?
I've got no questions.
Good. I'd accept a motion then.
I'll make a motion that we ratify the contract by between Weber County and OFOM, or the Ogden Friends of Acoustic Music.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Very
Thank
good.
you.
Thanks,
And I'll
Jennifer.
see you at the meeting.
Good.
Next is a request for a change order number 3 to BH Incorporated, contract to cover the 12th Street Corridor Design Segment 3 project.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
As you all know, we met with each of you individually to discuss these changes and went over them pretty thoroughly. A lot of questions, a lot of comments, so we had those discussions with each of you, but put this on the agenda and wanted to see if you had any further comments or recommendations on this change order.
Commissioners?
I don't.
I have some comments.
Please, go ahead.
You know, well, I don't have any comments with regards to the project in specific. I have, Commissioners, a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to change orders. Having worked in the contracting business for 31 years now, a lot of times when change orders happen, as a contractor, we just kind of take it. And I realize that with asphalt orders that it seems to be, I've since learned that this seems to be more of a commonplace when there's a road project to have sometimes multiple change orders that take place. But very simple, when I order a slice of pie at a restaurant and it might come with ice cream, if when I get it, I send it back and I ask them for some whipped cream and a cherry on top, I don't expect to be charged any extra for that dessert. I realize that probably applies to me, but that's how I feel about change orders. I don't, a lot of times if they're selling the big project, we don't deserve that. That's the first thing. Second thing is the approval of change orders. Jared, you've since you brought this change to each commissioner individually, which is appreciated. And since that time, we've talked about processes. I want you to know here publicly that I'm going to hold you to those. I'm going to hold you to what you've committed on the email. And that's. This is the body by which the public has entrusted us to make decisions on financial reasons for the county and to bind the county. If that happens at any other place or any other division of the county, it's wrong. And so those change orders should only happen in a public meeting. I know that Jason Horn just stepped out of the room, but that is the case, and so I want to caution you in the future. I don't understand how business was done in the county in the past. It's poor process. This is a commission that wants to eliminate all processes in Weber County Corporation that are poor. We want to be financially responsible to everyone who lives within the county. So let that be a word of caution. And that's, I think, that's where I want to end up with on that.
Very good. Well, we look forward to the new process that we've developed, and hopefully it'll work fine for all of us.
Great.
Very good. So with that, Commissioners, I'm looking forward to a motion.
I would make the motion to approve. I'd like to make a comment to that if I could.
Please.
I appreciate Commissioner Harvey's in view on this. He understands what's taken place in the county over the past number of years, more than I by any means. But, I appreciate Jared taking the time to review the change order. In previous life, having a construction company, I understand change orders fairly well and know that in some cases, unforeseen circumstances, things come up that will and do mandate change orders. We try to avoid those, obviously, from the owner side. It's very important that we have good documents up front, we have good specifications to try to avoid any change orders down the road. But that being said, it's to avoid change orders 100% of the time, in my view, is not realistic. But what is realistic was addressed is that the process, when those change orders do come about, when they come to us earlier rather than later, so that we have the chance to, again, air that in public and make sure. And as long as, in my opinion, if the contractors are made aware that any change order must be brought before the public, in a public meeting before that happens, before the final approval takes place, they may be a little more cautious in the original bidding process. So I would just say, concentrate on that original bid process, the specifications, the drawings, to try to eliminate those. I know that doesn't happen. In the event it does happen, we need to be transparent with the public. And with that, I'd make a motion to approve, Mr. Chair.
Very good. I have a motion and a second. To that, I want to speak. Well, they're all talking here. I feel left out. This specific change order, the largest part of it was extra tonnage on large diameter rock to fill the bottom of those ditches. And we questioned Gary to whether or not this process would work. So I've been out there multiple times the last 2 weeks looking at the ditch, and that appears to be working. Took a little longer than I think we all thought. Of course, the river was high and kept on rising, there for a while. But now that the river's down, the fact is the water in the ditch seems to be going down. And I personally look at this with a great deal of satisfaction. We all questioned whether or not this was going to work, including the landowner, who we're going to meet next week with. And so I look forward to calling his attention to the fact that river water's down, or the ditch water's down.
Good point.
And to Gary Meyer's point, he thinks it's even down below where it was before, and he showed us some pictures that showed that. And,
Pictures over decades and decades and decades.
And I have to agree, and looking at that, I mean, it's a satellite image, and you're looking at inches in the bottom of a ditch. So it's pretty tough to tell. But it definitely is not above it. And I think it probably is below it. So anyway, Jared, good job.
Thank you.
All right, all in favor say aye. Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Is approved. Thanks, Jared.
Thanks.
Well, so we're now to a public hearing, and that public, why don't you come up and talk to that, Rick?
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
We just found out in the middle of the meeting that to try to accommodate the applicant, we'd like to change the date. So we'll have it on the agenda to accommodate for that, if you're all right with that. Okay.
Very good, I am. Is there any comment, or are you okay?
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Extend.
I think, yeah, I'm okay.
We will postpone H till next week then. Thank you. Puts us down to I, Commissioner comments, Stall of Fame. So we do a Stall of Fame once a month, and the recommendation for a Stall of Fame this time was for Steve Zaccardi. I think I said that right. He's been handling the investigations for Chris Allred, the attorney's office. He functions single-handedly for some time now, including 2 complicated officer-involved shooting investigations. So he's done a very good job of that. And would anybody like to comment on this? I don't.
No, he's done a
great job.
This is wonderful, I think, and I love the fact that we're recognizing. We have a lot of employees that do great things, and this particular time, he's risen to the top. The cream rises to the top, like that cream on the apple pie that time.
He's not here today. He's out of town. I feel bad about that. But we want to award a keychain and give use of a stall for a month to Steve Zaccardi, and congratulate him. So, Steve, congratulations.
Good job.
Very good. So, with that, we're done. There's nothing else on the agenda. I cut this short without no...
Any other commissioner comments?
You want one?
No. I just wondered.
Commissioner, would you like to?
No, I've talked enough today, thanks.
Me too. So, Commissioner, so move item number J, I'd move to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. We are adjourned. Thank you.